Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Tarot Time. Happy Sunday morning. If you're here as a video, we're going to get started in just a minute. I always give a minute or two for the live people to get their notifications, and then we'll jump right in. But we've got a lot to talk about, and this is Tarot Time. So we get information from Spirit, drawing on tarot and other oracle decks, other divination tools to help us prepare for the changing, ever changing energies in our world today and to help us prepare for the week ahead and then moving forward. So, glasses are on. Gonna say my hellos. Hello, Mr. Floyd. Happy Sunday, Josh. Welcome. Hello, Truth Wave. Welcome. Welcome. Hello, Care Bard, excuse me. Janice, welcome. Hello, Katie. Hello again, Truthways. Hello, Nathan. Welcome. And everybody else that's in. Brooke, hi. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Nix, Gypsy. Hi, Enspree. Yvonne. Well, you've had hello, Mary. We had a nice conversation without me, haven't you? Oh my gosh, I'm only a couple minutes late. Hello, Jojo. Anybody that I miss, well, sorry that I miss you. Hi, Pauline. Wow. All right. Looks like Nathan. One heart, one destiny. You're the first comment of the day. Thank you. And chat, all those who come in are brothers and sisters of humanity. Exactly. And we've got to remember this. Hello, Carrie. We've got to remember this. Hello, Heather. That and Chris and Janae. Welcome. We are one family. Yeah, we are manifestations of the divine, and that created us, the one that created us, is going to take care of us always. This is a big shift in humanity, a big shift in consciousness, a big shift in energy, and it can't be easy. It just can't be. But that doesn't mean it has to be bad or negative. We can raise our frequencies, raise our consciousness, encourage others to do the same, join in community, and that can help to mitigate some of the suffering and challenges that come with a full-on wholesale change of society as we once knew it. And speaking of which, at 1 o'clock today, we're going to do some group prayer. We're going to send some beautiful healing energy to the collective, to the earth. We're going to work with the master teacher, so we're going to charge it with some frequencies and raise the collective, raise the consciousness, raise the earth fields to help us to what are the right words, to help us to more smoothly transition into this new earth, to help raise the collective, to help again mitigate suffering. Anyway, that's happening at 1. Hello, Adair. Good morning. Hello, Sachet. Hello, Bohemian Dollhouse. Bright blessing to you. And Shirley, we have a few new names in, so welcome. And if anybody wants to say hello and where in this big wide world you are watching us from today, that would be great. So a couple of quick notes, then we're going to dive right into some tarot stuff. There's always a lot to talk about. I always get into my little raps and get on my soapbox for a little while and just talk about what's going on with the frequencies, with the energies. Everybody's going crazy. We have to stay in our heart and stay in our power. So nothing much has changed other than everything changes every moment of every day, right? But right now, we are at the very heart of both the Mercury retrograde and the Venus retrograde. So both the inner planets are in retrograde. The Venus, I think yesterday, Venus and the Sun conjunct, which is basically the midpoint of the retrograde, the heart of the retrograde. And I think it's tomorrow the Mercury and the Sun conjunct, although I may have the two in opposite. Long story short, both of these planets are in the maximum retrograde right now. What does that mean for us? Time to reset. Anything with RE. Mercury's communication. Venus is love, it's money, it's beauty, it's opulence, it's all that stuff. But these are the inner planets that move. and they're moving backwards. Well, they're not moving backwards. From the perspective of the Earth, it's an optical illusion that they appear to be moving backwards. But anyway, so it's that, and then we're gearing up towards the next eclipse, which is going to be a solar eclipse, a partial solar eclipse on the 29th of March at 9 degrees Aries. 9 is Mars ruled. Aries is Mars ruled. This is the reset. This is the energetic Earth shift. Now, what's going to happen in the weeks, months, and even years to follow are going to be reflections of what's happening energetically right now, or manifestations thereof. So what do? We want to be in as high vibes as possible, and not to allow those fear mongers on the news and on social media to get us into anxiety, to get us into fear, to get us into worry. Yes, we have to be realistic. We're not about hopium. We're not about false hope. We're about real hope. And the hope lies with our connection with Spirit, God, and Source, or Spirit, God, or Source. And that's really the bottom line. And the more of us that are able to do that, the more that we're going to be able to adjust or influence the frequencies and help others to smooth out their emotions, because a lot of the programming attacks our survival based emotions. And we see what's going on out there, but it's all slanted, it's all tilted by the news to create a certain effect. So we say, like with the Trump administration and the Doge with Elon Musk. And, oh my God, they're shutting this down, they're shutting that down, they're cutting these funds or whatever. And yeah, some of that's true, but what they don't tell you is there's some reallocation of funds that are happening, reallocation of assignments. They're basically in a perfect world, which we know this isn't, so we have to use our imagination a little bit. But in a perfect world, it's the Department of Government Efficiency. Efficiency means financial efficiency also. No, I do not like that they're cutting back on forestry and all that. There's a lot that I don't like. There's things that I do like. I remain nonpartisan. I try to be in the truth. I try to be in the heart. I shouldn't say try. I am in the truth. I am in the heart. and I'm not in the left wing or the right wing. I'm in the central point, the 0 point, the shunya, basically. And that's the only place you're going to understand the truth. You have to go back into the heart. You have to find that place of neutrality, and you find that through presence, through stopping your thoughts, allowing yourself to feel your heart, feel the energy, and take everything in. So, there's things that are being not necessarily cut, but reallocated in different ways to try to, in a perfect world again, increase efficiency. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm sounding like Russell Brand now. What do you think? Let me see if I can do his British accent. But that's my opinion. What do you think? The universe is perfect. I like the way you think, Millie. Thank you. I agree. I'm not arguing these points. I'm just saying sometimes things are presented in a certain way and they're not exactly what they seem. And selling off for national park. Well, the country's being run kind of like a business. They don't want me to hide your comment for some reason. Is this perfect? Did you see, right? It's your universe. That's what Josh is always saying to his community on his channel, Mr. Floyd's Universe. You're welcome to join, by the way. Solar flares are pretty high. We had a CME last night. It was so freaking cold and windy for late March where I live in the Catskills. And I could see, I can't see the horizon with the mountain, but I could see a little bit of light in the north. And I'm like, I'm not going to go. I have to drive 20 minutes to get to a place where I could see the northern lights. And I'm not going to go. I'm sorry. Go drive 20 minutes and stand out and freeze just so that I could see a little bit of northern lights. And I have to use my iPhone for an extended, for time-lapse photography to see the colors. It's like, I'll wait till the real flares come. The 2003 event, it was legendary, if anybody remembers that. it's almost like a mini Carrington event here in our area. I'm at 41 to 42 degrees north latitude. The lights shine from the north horizon clear across the sky into the southern horizon, and it was bright. Most of it was white and green. It wasn't as colorful. There's some purples and reds, but anyway, I think there's going to be another event before solar maximum ends. Anyway, hello Chloe, hello and Spree. A lot of anxiety. Something's off. We've been talking. Well, California is a very volatile area. Fires, earthquakes, or whatever. But you're going to be okay. So sometimes the anxiety, we're picking up on the collective fear. Sometimes we're picking up on the energies, and so to understand if you're anxious and you want to understand if you're getting an intuitive impression about something, see if you can get into your heart, take a few breaths, and get out of anxiety and ask Spirit, why do I feel this way? And you may be surprised by what you get. Right. So you're saying Russell Brand no longer resonates with you? Yeah, exactly. I like to watch him. I mean, he's funny, and I like that he brings out things that's not on mainstream news. But I haven't watched him as much either personally. Um, yeah, sometimes when they get really big, also they change. He's got what, like 7 or 8 million subscribers on his channel. I still watch him occasionally. But anyway, let's do some tarot. It's tarot time, right? And so we're up to 76 people. So you guys that weren't here in the beginning, at 1:00 Eastern time, we're going to do a transmission, some group prayer. So we're going to pool our energies and send some beautiful love waves. I think somebody's truth waves and love waves out into the collective field, and I augment that with frequency. So the master teachers are going to work with me to bring our energies together, to raise our frequencies, to send beautiful energy to the earth, into the collective, to help to uplift the consciousness, to help heal the planet, heal the collective. Things are going to change. It's not going to be easy, because when a society changes, when we're basically, because of our survival instincts, we're creatures of habit and resist change, it can't be easy. But when we're in our heart, we're in our power. We're not in our primitive survival instincts anymore. We're with spirit and God, and we know that the only constant in the universe is perpetual change, and that's the key. It's always been, it always will be. Get into the heart. When you're in the heart frequency, you're more accessible to the spirit frequency, and you vibrate on that higher levels, and then we're not victims of the energies around us. We're not victims of the deep state or the governments or whatever. We're transmitters of energy. We are able to influence that, and that's what we're going to do at 1:00, to bring healing, to bring love, and to help humanity, basically. Of course, will probably be, if you count the people that are on the replay, maybe 1,000 people, probably less. But there's thousands of other groups that are doing similar things, and we're pooling our energies, and we're raising the collective together. It's interesting. I have 2 people that I enjoy that are in Egypt now. One's Lily Nova of Lily Nova Starseed channel. She's bringing some amazing information back to us. Then I have another friend who's not on YouTube that is discovering the same things, who's also in Egypt. So I find that kind of interesting. And they're discovering more under the Giza pyramids and other things that we knew about, that I and others had remote view decades ago, and kind of saw this. And a lot of teachers, that have been doing this longer than me, that are more advanced with me, have been sharing this information for many decades. Actually, it's not new, but having the more validation is new about that. Oh wow, you got some long comments going on here. What's that? This is a good point. Yeah, how most people only hear what they want to hear, so they will not look at the info if it goes against their belief. Yeah, it's an unfortunate part of human nature um because it slows down the growth and progression. But it's part of the ascension, so we can't treat it negatively. It just is, right? People GFF watch feel something odd, they feel AI. Few posts made me realize anyone else got that from someone here to watch. I was not thrilled with GF, but I was like, yeah. One of my predictions for the spring is we're really going to feel the changes from the AI and everything. And again, yeah, I think we are shifting, vibing higher. Yeah, so many who resonate with us may not anymore. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. So thank you, and Adam posted something. Great point. Yes. And Adam posted something that indicates the current admin might be removed. Oh my god. Yeah, and the video's up. I just did that yesterday. I did a few videos, and the timelines keep changing. Honestly, these are points of reference. It's prophecy to me, are glimpses of potential futures that we can work to manifest or work to mitigate as a collective, as a case may be. They're definitely not absolutes. Um, and that's sad. But if you guys watch my March psychic forecast, patting myself on the back, a lot of it's come to pass already, but not everything, right? And that's the way it's always going to be. There's always going to be misses or perceived misses. But anyway, that's the nature of prophecy. Hello, Robert Long. Welcome. Appreciate you. But the current administration, there's so much going on, against that. Maybe more will come out to as we continue to work on tarot. They show me wolves now. That's the teachers, and this is interesting because we know, a lot of us know about the legend of the coyote. It's a Native American. The coyote is the trickster, and the coyote does all their antics. Can be very, very troubling. Can be very disconcerting for people. But coyote is held in the highest regard in Native Americans because they realize sometimes the trickster is our best teacher. Sometimes we need to be tricked into learning. So, what if Mr. Trump, President Trump, number 47, is that coyote? And what if, because we are in the collective awakening, this is the awakening times, but what if humanity is so freaking dense that we need a freaking trickster to stir everything up, to boil the pot, to lay everything down, to create total chaos, so that we are tricked into learning? So what if, right? That's what I think's going on in a nutshell, basically. But what do you guys think, right? I don't know if I explained that as well as I could have. Hello, Rebecca. North Node transit. Yeah, so North Node. Yeah, well, the sun, the sun is aligned with the nodes right now. That's why we have an eclipse season. Because the moon has to be in the sun's elliptical for either the Earth's shadow to block out the moon, or the moon to block out the sun, and that's what the nodes are. So these are very powerful times indeed. Hello, Michael. Welcome. And I agree. That's a good point. The most helpful piece is knowing that the fiat dollar will expire and the new digital system will be utilized. But how will that digital system be utilized? That's the question. Just like AI, how will that be utilized? It could be a great thing for humanity, or it could be a great detriment. The way I understand, and of course my knowledge of the economy is limited, but the way I understand is that the quantum financial system, which incorporates gold or metal-backed currency, that would include digital currencies also, that digital currencies will have to have a tangible backing to be considered currency. That would be okay if that was the case. Other than the fact that those in power can control our money more if it's digitalized. Other than that, I'd be okay with digital currency. But that's a big. Other than that, that's a real big one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is theory. I won't even say conspiracy theory. This is theory. AI is a lot older than freaking 3, 4, or 5 years. We know Elon Musk, love him or hate him. We know he's a genius. We know and people that are very high up. I'm not saying that he's a globalist, but the globalists do tend to be the ones that have the most money, and he's the richest person in the world right now. Anyways, anyway, he's only an 18% shareholder in Tesla. Who are the next biggest shareholders? Vanguard, BlackRock. I sense a pattern here. Follow the money. See what's going on. You'll get a pretty good idea what's going on in the world. So in any event, I believe that probably at least 10 years they've had access to AI, and yes, it's a, we'll put it this way, a debatable theory at this point if the voters were manipulated through technology. But that said, I would not limit that to the last elections. In fact, there was very real footage, before AI and before Photoshop. Well, it wasn't before Photoshop, but anyway, I think it was the Bush-Kerry elections. It might have been the Bush-Gore, one or the other, in the swing states, in the, I guess it was the Democratic districts. They were turning people away. This was shown. There was actual footage of that. Now, that it's more sophisticated. So they can do that more in different ways. But point being is that voter manipulation is definitely nothing new from where I sit anyway. So anyway, back to tarot, or starting with tarot. See, we get into these conversations here because it's kind of our community time for those that are newer on the channel. So it's still tarot time, but we tend to go off on a lot of fun little tangents. BlackRock, AI computer Aladdin will be own everything in the United States. not in my universe, right? That's what I say to that. Not in my universe. No, like that might be in my universe, but anyway. Yeah, all right. Please ask for prayers. That's what we're here for. Prayers to Tracy and the kid. Spell check is good point, Jennifer. Very good point. Yeah. And what's Robert saying? History is evidence that our country has done much better for the whole overall for everyone under democratic president. I would debate that, but not here. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I would just say that I would debate that. But that said, you know what? I wouldn't so much debate that. What I would say is that the whole thing with the right and the left it's really different now. Like I wouldn't debate that in and of itself. And I grew up as a Democrat, a liberal. In the 70s it was a very, very different thing, and it kind of to me it's almost like some of it's flipped in the last 20 years. And somebody, I had many people argue with me on my videos when I bring up these controversial issues. Somebody because I talked about about conspiracy theory. I don't even remember which one. But the point being is that somebody just was just very negative and just saying, well, you're saying this, that means that you're on the far right, and I don't deal with the far right. And I'm saying, I think about back in the X-Files day, we were all left wing. Yeah, the people that I knew that were into the conspiracy theory, we were all left wing. Now it's far right. So it's not about right or left. It's about truth. And even when I was a so-called liberal and Democrat, I left the Democratic Party. Oh God, how long ago? I can't even remember. When I voted for the candidate I didn't vote Republican. I didn't vote Democrat. I would look at the issues, look at where they stand, and I would vote for who I favor, basically. And I think we should all do the same. But then again, well, I'll put it this way, and we're getting to tarot. We're getting there. See, maybe I shouldn't look at your comments that we can do the tarot stuff, but in any regards, I think that if people really did that and they didn't buy into the whole like political programming, I think we'd have better government, frankly. But that's my opinion, right? So we're talking about glaciers and global warming. What's happening as those glaciers melt? Like in Greenland, they discover gold. They discover important minerals that are used in technology, and then the U.S. and other countries now have interest in Greenland, right? So it's interesting how that's happening, basically. But that said, we have to be a little bit careful about where we get our information on global warming. You can get it from me because I'm a meteorology major, graduated in what year did I freaking graduate? 1980. Yeah, I'm old. And part of my research was on global warming. Yeah, that was known in the 1970s. And there was a model that's proving to be quite accurate. There's a protocol that was not taken, and now it's being leveraged for politicization. It's being leveraged, and that's not solving anything from where I'm sitting, basically. So anyhow, yeah. So I don't disagree. I'm just adding on to that. So I'm going to do a meditation card now. And then anybody that needs prayers, and at 1:00 we're going to do our group prayers. Oh, happy birthday! So yeah, prayers that Yolanda and her daughter are reunited. Absolutely, yeah. I remember, the person, was that Tracy or whoever, was asking for prayers for the kid. And I remember in Florida one time, I had a dog and a cat. I didn't, they were so good. Like I'd take the dog for long walks, no leash. I lived rurally in Florida, no leash. The dog wouldn't, if he ran away, he'd come back. He might chase something. The cat would always walk with us. And one day the cat was in my house and was meowing and got walking towards the door and looking at me walking towards the door, and I felt something. He's like, you want to show me something, right? So the cat took me outside, went down under the house, and there was a poor little emaciated kitty under my house shivering. So I know you're not supposed to give cats milk, but the cat couldn't eat, so I gave the cat milk, started to get his strength back. He's a beautiful cat, and I wound up giving him away, but so prayers for the kitties and the dogs and everybody. And Surgery Tuesday, prayers for MDR for her surgery, successful surgery. So back to our regularly scheduled meditation card, half hour in, and we're starting tarot. Very good. But all useful conversation. We are a community. We're here to raise the collective. And I appreciate you guys sharing your views, because that opens up some intelligent conversation, right? So it's all good. So basically, not a surgery, a procedure. Okay, sorry about that. So not a surgery, but prayers to Mary. Uh, a visit to prep. Okay. Okay, so clearing my mind. This is actually a good card because it's a victory card. So when we meditate with the cards this week, how are you going to find your victory? How are you going to come out of strife in your life? Basically, I mean, these are things that you can ask. So when you go into meditation, like any other meditation, get very present, relaxed, and open. Feel your heart opening, and then you can use this my deck. It's the Hanson Roberts deck, or if you have your own cards, pick your Six of Wands or Six of Rods out of the card, and in your mind you step into the card and just you're very open and aware, very present. So you're receptive to energy. So when you step into the card, how it's like just gauge what you feel and what energies you're experiencing as you step in, and you may get smells, tastes, and may see everything. This is just the doorway, so there may be a whole panoramic scene that you step into. Different beings, spirit guides, angels may be there, your loved ones on the other side, and enjoy the energy and see what messages you get. See if your guides will give you information about the week, things that you need to do. That for some of you, because this is a movement card, this may be about traveling. It may be about changing something about your work or career, that because a lot of you are undergoing different levels of awakening and may be feeling like you don't want to waste your time with what you're doing anymore, and starting to feel that you have a higher calling. So step into the card and ask for what that higher calling is, for those of you that would resonate with what I just said. And anyhow, happy birthday to the birthday people. Yes. So let's do a 3-card spread. Oh, very good. You made it to the live, Reba. And hi, Sherry. Tarot is a tool. Yes, divination is a tool. It's not an absolute. I'm very into predictions. And you guys, I'm saying you guys, it's not the 80 of you that are here live with me now, but the 24,000 subscribers that I have shown clear preference based on the analytics that I receive of my prediction videos. So if you guys like that, I'll keep doing them. And I always remind you, prediction to me is a point of reference. It's picking up on timelines and projecting what the energies are in the now and what that's likely to project into the future, taking into consideration as we move forward in timelines, we move forward in energies and frequencies. So if we don't like what we see, then we have to figure out how do we change our energy. It's a lot harder to do as a collective, mind you. But that said, you still have influence and power. You know the expression, go with the flow, right? I love that expression and I believe in it. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, right? A little Zen child verse. But to me, that's not enough. I want to influence that flow. It's not. I don't want to just sit in like when I used to. I live right by the Esopus near Phoenicia, New York. So when I used to tubing is just going with the flow. You might hit rock. You might bang into something. You go with the flow. I want to influence the flow. Like, in other words, I want to move those rocks so my flow is smoother. So you get where I'm going at. So go with the flow, but be the flow. We're not separate from the flow, right? I think that makes sense. All right, 3-card spread. And on the new job. Anybody got a new job? Oh, that was Mary, right? Congrats on the new job. Thank you, Char. Okay. Hello, Anthrogal. Okay. What else is going on? 3-card spread time. That's what's going on. This is for our week ahead. Beautiful day in the Catskills. I'll definitely get outside. I think it's about 40 degrees. That's a little chilly for the end of March. But other than that, it's a beautiful day. Okay. Mind is clear. Okay. The less I think, the more I connect, right? Okay, so what we have here is the Queen of Pentacles reversed, the Five of Swords reversed, the Four of Pentacles reversed. To me, my first impression energetically, this screams financial economy, news that's going to be challenging for a lot of people. And the figure at the end is holding on to their resources. They're holding on to their money. The message I'm getting is don't buy into the programming. Don't hold on. If the powers that be want to make you feel like you're in a recession, that you don't have money, that you don't have resources, and you've got to rely on the almighty, powers of the world, that's just programming. No matter what, whether we're in a boom, whether we're in a recession, whether we're in an inflation, money is just that, money. It exists. It's our thinking and our energy is going to determine how accessible we are to that money or how inaccessible we are to it. Remember, and I use this example a lot, there was a Great Depression. There were two brothers. They were the Gallo brothers. They sold wine on the roadside. They became millionaires where everybody was losing their houses. This is the time to think outside the box. This is Aquarius season. This is, well, not Aquarius season. This is the Aquarian age. Aquarius is Uranus. Uranus beckons us to think outside the box. Don't buy into the status quo. Don't buy into the programming machine that wants to make you feel that you are in lack and you have lack. That is bullshit. Excuse my French. There is no lack. Everything that exists in abundance. It's only our thinking, our programming. That's the only lack that's real. None of that, it's all an illusion. Understand that. From the 15 trillion cells in your body to the millions of trees I can see outside my window, to the $1 trillion that are probably been printed by the US government in the time that we've been talking about. It's all about abundance. And that's the message that I'm getting from these cards right now. The Five of Swords, ironically, is a victory card of sorts also, but sometimes it's a bit of a dark victory. Like sometimes sometimes we win, but in the way that nobody won because we had to. I'm explaining that wrong. Okay, let me shut up for a second and let spirit come in. Like Master God saying that, that's kind of it, but not really. Basically, the expression that you're looking for, sometimes it may feel like an empty victory, but you know what? If your if your well-being, your health, your survival is under threat, whatever it is, even if it's a narcissistic coworker or whatever it is, that's diminishing your energy or upsetting you or whatever. Well, firstly, get into your heart and understand that it's really our egos that get upset, not our spirits. But that you have the right to hold your ground and to hold your boundaries and to hold your space. Um, the programming machine really tries to violate our boundaries and force us into fear and anger and stuff like that, and to make us believe that's really our true beliefs, but it's really a lot of that's programming. So yes, we're likely to see more executive orders, more cutting of funds, cutting of programs, because this is all feels like a really strong financial pinch that they're trying to show us right here. Um, and I feel like this is saying this is a good time to stock up, right? The figures holding on to what they have. I get certain predictions. Those predictions lead me to believe there's a chance, it's not written in stone, but there's a chance that there may be a period where it's harder to get supplies or foods, or that we have to hunker down for whatever reason, whether it's a solar flare knocking out power grids, whether it's a threat to our shores, because that's the other thing, is that they're really pushing that World War III agenda on us right now and really drawing the lines on the sand. And people love Trump or hate him. I try to stay neutral as much as I can. I see good, I see bad, I see ugly, right? I see it all, and I think it's all there. But saying he's going to go in there and expose the corruption, well, that's happening. There's a lot of government uh, corruption that's coming to the surface. Now, I'd like to see more being out on the mainstream about corruption in the pharmaceutical companies and in vaccination programs, withholding of information, certain players that have certain interests. Recently, I saw something about, and this is probably RFK Jr.'s influence of doing some studies on whether vaccinations, if there's a link between autism and vaccinations, and people, and the mainstream news that's supposed to be objective is trying to, trying to promote their narrative that, well, there have been studies already. It's been proven by science that there's no link or whatever. But who's funding these studies? If the people that are funding any studies have interest in the outcomes of those studies, then it's probably bogus. So and that tends to be the pattern, not just with vaccines, but with a lot of things. You see who the major funders are. Going back in the day when they were saying, like people, those of you that are moms that chose to breastfeed, they were trying to talk people into bottle feeding, into formulas, and they did studies of formulas. They said the formulas have been shown in studies to be just as good as breast milk. Who funded the studies? Johnson and Johnson. What other company? The ones that make the formula. Technology. I use this word a lot. The nature of tricking people into believing a false narrative to be real and to live their lives based on a false narrative. So only the very few benefit, and the rest of us see more of our money leaving our pockets, basically, and seeing more and more people living in poverty. We have two men in government that are worth what, billions of dollars, basically. There's no shortage of money. It's just programming that keeps us from it. So anyway, but what are you guys saying for a second? Then I'm going to move on. I know you. So this is happening on Mr. Floyd's channel. And Laura B does readings and offers great insight, and Josh of Mr. Floyd's channeling, which would be this channel here, does some awesome work on his channel. Millie has a YouTube channel also, and any of you guys that have YouTube channels that want to share your links, feel free. What are you saying? In all truth, I'm waiting and want to see when I should convert the rest of my liquid fiat to gold. That way it will be preserved. Yeah, I'm kind of that also. And then Mary, who's now I can say it's now a CFO, so she knows a thing or two about finance. In other words, 100% flipped that script. I did a heavy tweaking and ended up manifesting better, but now I have to flip it entirely. All right, so this is a different part. I thought you were commenting on money, basically. Hey, Christina, talking about somebody else that has a beautiful YouTube channel. Welcome, Christina. Yeah, we've been having a lively, rip-roaring conversation here. So anyway, 1:00 Eastern time, prayers and transmission with the master teacher to raise the collective for planetary and collective healing. 1:00 right here, just an hour. I feel we need collective action to make real changes. That makes sense to me. What do you see in terms of positive collective action? I feel like Trump is screwing things up, even though he wants to show the corruption. Yeah, we don't know exactly what Trump's motivation is in wanting to show the corruption. I can conjecture that he wanted to screw those that he thinks stole the election from him in 2020. But I think there's more to that story. And I think the best thing to do is to go into presence, go into meditation, go into prayer, open the heart. That's the frequency to divine soul. When we open our heart, the largest electromagnetic generator in the body, we open the divine soul. And as people listening to that, people are probably thinking, but wait, we have to take action. What good is meditating in a world that's going crazy if you're not taking any action? Well, the answer to that is most people that are taking action based upon their fear-based programming. It's like, oh my God, I'm scared. This is going on. I need to do something. What am I going to do? Like that, right? But if you go into the heart and you go into spirit, spirit's going to tell you what tangible earthly action to take that's going to make a difference. It's not going to feed the fear, but it's going to feed the solution, basically. A great man that got so maligned, like so many great men, named Eldridge Cleaver, I think that's his name, of the Panther Party that the media started to call the Black Panthers. I think it was Eldridge Cleaver. It's one of the big ones. And his quote is, if you're not part of the solution, you're destined to be part of the problem. And that's the thing. The solution is love. It's the heart. It's peace. It's bringing different ideas and different thoughts and different societies, different cultures together, not separate. Basically, that's the solution. So anyways, can't emphasize that one enough. Should be for something, not against it. Yeah, that's taking it into a positive rather than a negative. I can understand that. And no, right? No, exactly. Are welcome, by the way. And Ariba, I love to hear my new YouTube channel. I'm an animal. Oh, we love animal communicators. I think it was over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. We had my favorite local animal communicator, if I can freaking remember her name off the top of my head. Oh, this is terrible. Well, anyway, I love animal communicators and communications. Cindy Brody, those of you that are in the Woodstock area and love animals and love psychics know that name for sure. A lot of people go to her with their pets. So anyway, that's Reba's channel. If you guys missed it, you're welcome. And anybody else, I may not catch all your comments. Anybody else? It was Eldridge Cleaver. Thank you for that. Exactly. Yeah, I'm getting chills just thinking about him. I was so fortunate because my martial arts teacher was part of the Panther Party, and I lived with him in Florida for 6 years. Fortunately, he died tragically, and there were two sides to him. I'll just leave it at that. But I got to learn about how to reprogram in the 1970s. I got to learn about dialectical materialism. How many people know what that is? Let us know. And people think, oh, it's Marxist. No, it's not communism. It's a philosophy that transcends that. I'll just leave it at that. I got to learn about all this amazing stuff. Back then we called it the grand plan. Now we call it the globalist agenda or the deep state. It's the same thing. I knew about this, and we had gotten information about this time, about these earth changes back in the 1970s and 80s. I've been at this a long time, and I know a lot of you have been also. Agreed. Yeah. You know, animal communicators are the best psychics in the business. And why is that? Because animals don't lie. They're not complicated. That's why. uh, there's so much intrigue when it comes to humans. It becomes much harder to predict. Um, Horses, yes, welcome. Welcome. Oh, I love that pet tarot readings. Thank you, Care Bear, for sharing that. All right. So, unfortunately, I don't know why I put those cards back in the deck. I guess we're through with that. So we're going to move on quickly to our Native American tarot. Okay, clearing my mind. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What did we talk about 20 minutes ago? I get to talk about it again. Holstein Coyote. This is the Magician card. Magician is Mercury. Mercury is said to be the trickster of the planets. When I was into doing like a manifestation through spell work through Wicca, one time I decided to do a Mercury ceremony because I wanted to get front row tickets for a Grateful Dead show. So this shows you how long ago this happened. And then so I called Mercury. I didn't have any ticket. I never had tickets when I went to shows. I would get them. I got a ticket. It was front row, directly behind the stage. That's the trickster. So for those of you that missed, we were talking about our American president, Donald Trump. What if he is the coyote? What if humanity, because the frequencies keep increasing, so awakening's happening. What if humanity, the collective, is so damn stubborn that we need some trickster to basically stir everything up and to do so many things? They get so many people crazy up in arms. They're tricked into learning. Now they have to learn. Now they have to grow. Now they have to get out of their ego and take a broader view and see what's going on and come together and raise the collective. This is just a what if, but that's what I think. My opinion, that's exactly Donald Trump's role in this great awakening. As I've been saying since before 2016, love him or hate him, this is the figure that's going to expose so much. It may not be consciously. He might be the corruption he's exposing. There's no full Epstein list. We know that. There probably never will be a full Epstein list. But we also know that Epstein and Trump were friends for like 15 years and had a lot of pictures taken together. Doesn't mean he was involved. Doesn't mean he's on the list. I don't know this. I would never make that kind of an assertion of something that I didn't know for sure. But there's circumstantial evidence that shows that maybe at one time they were connected. Maybe. If that's the case, no, you're not going to get a full Epstein list when he's in office. Duh, right? If that's the case. So anyway, that's what I have to say about the trickster, and that's a great card to have. Also, the magician is the creator. We're manifesting this. We're manifesting this as a collective. We're manifesting Donald Trump. So don't be scared of what you're manifesting, even if it's as a collective. I mean, yeah, we're human. We don't want to see people die. We don't want to see war, obviously. There's that side. There's the human side to it also. We have to learn to transcend this because we'll leave the body. This is a very temporary stop off in our progression of our soul. This human body is very, very temporary. When we die, it's like it never even happened. It's like a dream, and we move on to the next world, basically. Just work to make this world a better place than when you found it. If everybody does that, I think societies are going to come together. I think we will be able to solve hunger. We'll be able to solve wars. And I think that's it. We're not really that divided, are we? Just in how we view it. Like the medicine wheel teachings themselves. You place a feather in the center of the wheel. I'm at the north, you're at the east. To me, the feather looks almost like short and stump because I'm seeing just the head of the feather. You're seeing the full length of the feather. So to you, it looks long and narrow. But guess what? It's the same freaking feather. We're just seeing it from a different point of view, a different perspective. And if we learn to stop fighting and feeling threatened by the other person's point of view, we might actually learn from the other person's point of view. And we may be able to walk around the medicine wheel and start to see the same reality from different perspectives. That's how we awakening. That's how we expand. That's how we ascend. That's how we grow. Stepping off my soapbox now. Off the soapbox. Back to divination. So since we're on Native American stuff, I've got the medicine card also. These are totem animals of the Americas, mostly North America. This card just happens to be flipped up when all the others are flipped down. I think Spirit did that. The Raven. There's a song by Genesis called "The Raven" from "The Lamb Lies Down" on Broadway. We talk about music here too. Also, one of the greatest works ever, in my humble opinion. Raven's about magic. Yeah, they're not crows. They're probably the same what's the right word? Subspecies. I can't remember the name. They're different. They have a different call. They have a different energy, and they're very, very big. And this is about magic. Sometimes, the dark mysteries. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to venture that probably the Raven sent in the north of the wet medicine wheel, the place that in from our perspective in the Americas, which is where these perspectives came from, the sun is never in the north of the sky. It's always in the east, south, or north. So that's the place of darkness, the place of the void, the place of stillness. The west is the place where we look within, where we contemplate, because we're going into hibernation, into the cave, into the sunset. And this is the place of learning. So the Raven can be our teacher now. So go within. The shadows become our greatest teachers at the end of the day, because they're parts of ourselves that we've suppressed, basically. So anyway, that's what I get from the Raven today. Moving right along, what does Kyle Gray's and the Ascended Masters have to say? This is the Divine Masters Oracle that I'm working with now. Oh, we got Saint Germain. Hello, we got Saint Germain. This is the third time we've gotten Saint Germain. Granted, we've been pulling from this deck for over a year, but Violet Flame, Alchemy, release the old, make way for the new. So again, going back to Josh, he's a Saint Germain channel, so you might want to check out his channel if you want to learn more and work with the Violet Flame more. We do a meditation here that I learned through Steve Noble's work on YouTube, and calling the ultraviolet angelic light transmission also. But violet fire is very protective. It's very pure. It's very refining. When I think of violet flame, even though it's known to be protected, I think of refinement. It's very alchemical. We change the lead into gold, basically, when we work with this fire. So we transmute. It's just like we're in the year of the snake, right? Snakes have venom. So we transmute poison into medicine, because snake venom can be a very valuable medicine also. We shed the old skin. So this is all about that. We have to get out of that paradigm. That's how we're going to raise humanity. That's how we're going to raise the collective. If enough people do that, it's time to just say no to the programming, say no to the status quo. Again, Trump, love him or hate him, he's basically what's the right word, demolishing the status quo with all that's going on. And again, I don't like everything he's doing, just to be clear. I'm not a quote unquote Trump supporter. I'm a truth supporter. And I do believe that there are some non-truths connected with that whole thing, I want to say. But I do recognize that, again, we need this trickster to stir it up so people will wake up. And then the house of cards falls, built on the weak foundation of greed, power over others, all falls. Then we can collectively build a strong house, a house of brick rather than a house of cards, built on a strong foundation of love, compassion, power to the people, by the people, sharing of resources, sharing of government, working as a world community. We can still have our own beliefs. We can still have our own countries. We can still have our own national ceremonies and rituals, but we can include the world basically. So anyway, hey, you guys are talking a lot about money. Oh yeah, thank you, Catherine, for reminding me. Yeah, remember to please hit love, like, subscribe if you If you want to get more of our videos on your home feed when you log on to YouTube, that's what subscribing does, and you get notification if you hit that little bell. Although the notification system's not always that efficient, it's good to have a backup. So anyway, prayers for T. Natalie. Yeah, you see, I'm having a harder time posting your comments. They're coming to the facial head skincare. Okay, yeah, lots of prayers. There's a lot of cancer cases that are coming up more than ever. There's been a spike. Not saying it's related by any means. Far from me to accuse anybody of wrongdoing, but that seemed to come on the heels of things like mystery fog, mystery drones, and stuff like that. And then some of the experimental cancer treatments have been defunded, have been discontinued. Some people aren't getting their experimental cancer vaccinations, not vaccination. I'm getting to that part. Their cancer treatment, but also there's a $500 billion have been invested primarily by three groups in something called the Stargate Project that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are big proponents of. Part of the Stargate Project is the promotion of AI. Part of that is the promotion of an anti-cancer therapy involving mRNA drugs along with AI to be able to isolate your specific type of cancer to come up with the proper remedy. It's a breakthrough in a way, but then again, it's big money, right? Big money, there's big power. So, you can connect the dots or not or whatever, but if you can stay nonpartisan, if you stay in your heart, then you have a broader perspective of what's going on. You can follow the steps. And I believe there's an authority that kind of watches over everything that's corrupt. But anyway, that's my own belief. And what do you say? Oh, you're talking about groups that swears that he wouldn't win. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When you're nonpartisan, your psychic prediction on politics tend to be more accurate. So over here, once I remote viewed and saw Donald Trump in the White House, I got the answer, and I got that he'd be inaugurated on time. Not everybody did, and not because that I'm a better psychic, not at all. It's because that they consciously, subconsciously, or otherwise, had what's the right words? Had some stake in their own predictions, basically, like you found a marked tendency for left-wing psychics to predict left-wing positive results, right? So anyway, so that's Saint Germain. So let's see. Time is it? We're over an hour already. Of course we are. So this is get a quick message from the Isis Oracle deck. Anyhow, message. Okay, need to clear my mind. Where are we going? Right here. Found my card. Thank you very much. This one's called the Lunar Queen, and we're in eclipse season now, which is very lunar energy. She of the celestial crescent. Interesting, yeah. So the moon goddess, was that like Demeter? I don't know. Is Isis a moon goddess? There's a lot. But of course this is Egypt, so there's Demeter's Greece. But anyway, it's got some interesting symbols here. So what is the moon? It reflects the light, right? It's a reflection of the sun. It's our intuition. It's our subconscious. It's our feelings, our emotions, basically. So I feel like what they're trying to say is this is a time for us as a community and maybe a world community that our intuition is very activated. They show me lions now, so it's kind of like a little bit of a Lion Gate portal energy also going on, I guess. But this is a time where our intuitions, our dreams are going to be very, very active, and where there's a subconscious, a frequency or a new resonance that's coming in that's going to change a lot in the perspective of ourselves, as well as what's going on in the world. And maybe something that's all of a sudden Japan popped up in my mind. I mean, if you have interest in Japan, you keep an eye out for things like, like they may be having their own set of protests or shifting a political, but myself and other psychics has for a good while been predicting another major earthquake, with tsunami in Japan in that area. So send a lot of love. We don't need, I mean, natural disasters are always going to happen as part of life. But anyway, I'm just looking at your comments a little bit. Like Madonna, I'm not sure where this came from. I'm missing a lot of your conversation. How can a huge language use in the writing and how we are more closely related to Egypt than not? Just when water wasn't located at the time, it was or not. Yeah, I think we're getting more connected with Egypt energy, and they're discovering more under the pyramids also, and today tariffs announced regarding Japan. Really? Gosh, yes, Japan kept coming. Okay, so thanks for the confirmations there. Yeah. All right. So I know let's do the frequency of the week. I know we're over an hour already. So I missed what Karma was saying. What was Karma saying? Okay. Oh, you'll not be able to make it this year. Are you talking about my retreats, or are we talking about something else? I'm so happy that you're part of Power Attunement. You could probably tell I really enjoy teaching that class. Hi, beautiful guitar. Welcome. Unless you're talking about another gathering, and if it's something that I should be part of, definitely let me know what that is. You work with Metatron's Cube. We do a lot of Metatron channeling here also. Metatron also says when he comes through, or they come through, that we're here to help to kind of condense the field, so to speak, to create more integration with our energetic field, to call back lost soul parts and stuff like that, as well as working with the Christ grid and advanced frequencies and energies. But anyway, frequency of the week. Speaking of frequency. Cool. So we're doing a retreat in April. So April 11th to the 13th. This is mediumship and channeling retreat here in the Catskill Mountains. Going to be intensive. If you want to do mediumship work for others, if you want to be able to get messages for yourself and to do channeling, and as well as energy healing, it's going to be a great retreat. What else is going on? I know I've got something else and I can't think of it right now. I've got mediumship night coming on Zoom on Tuesday the 8th, maximum of 10 people, so you may want to get in on that sooner than later. Our email is info@atombetweentheworlds.com. I'm going to write that in the chat. And in a couple of weeks, I should have nailed down Spirit Fest 2025. So I don't have the venue yet. We still have a little time, but not much to get that. But the mediumship retreat, and those of you that were at Spirit Fest 2024, the difference is we're offering private rooms at a slightly higher rate because the retreat was great. It was a aligned initiation. I got the initiation just with you guys, but the lodging left a lot to be desired. So I looked at that. I say, how can we make that better? All right, I figured out a way to do that. Yeah, so we'll get that. Hello, Laura from Wisconsin. Welcome. What else? There's another event going. I can't think of it. My goodness. As soon as I'm done, I'll think about it. But anyway, the big thing that's coming up is the retreat. And those of you that are around Central New York, in the last weekend of April, I'm going to be doing mediumship readings, a class for the Shift Fair in Oneonta, New York. So that's the last weekend in April doing that. All right, the frequency of the week would be romantic love. Ooh. Who's got a new one? A new partner. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with reflection of a conscious lover. So that's good. So maybe it's a message, but as a frequency, you just kind of gauge in the middle and just absorb the frequency, and again, you become the love that you want to attract in a partner, and then you'll attract the right partner. So when it comes to manifestation, the law of attraction work, indeed the carriage does come before the horse. Like if I want to manifest love or soulmate or whatever, in my mind I'm already with that soulmate. I'm feeling the joy, I'm experiencing the feelings as if I had that lover before I had that lover, and that way I attract the best situation, the best person to manifest that, basically. And that's how law of attraction works. It's really, really very, very simple. The reason it doesn't work for a lot of people is because humans are very, very, very complicated, and 95% of what we create subconscious, and people think, I do what you say, it's not working. They don't realize that their programming is blocking them, basically. They haven't reached their programming yet, so they think law of attraction doesn't work, but it does. But again, you have to become the frequency, the vibration, that which you wish to attract, and then you become magnetic to it. It's just how energy works. Like frequencies attract like frequencies. Quantum entanglement, whatever you want to call it. It just shows that when you become an energy of something, the experience starts to manifest in your universe or in your matrix, whatever perspective you have on that. Moonology. I don't know. This Max remote viewing class sounds fascinating. The air supply, is that the band air supply, or yeah, what am I talking about? Skepticism. I encourage my clients to be skeptical. I actually do. Intelligently skeptical, not cut off skeptical. Because I'm a medium, as you know, and there's a lot of charlatans out there that say, healthy skepticism is fine. It's my job to prove it to you that your loved one's coming through, and I do that through evidential mediumship. So every time I hear at the end of a session, I came in skeptical and now I'm a believer, it's music to my ears, because I know somebody just awakened to a higher possibility than they had before they stepped into that room, basically. And I'm just the channel. I'm just the conduit. It's the spirits that are doing the work, basically. As long as I show up as my best self, that's my job. I have to admit, there's times I don't always do that because I'm human, but that's my objective, is just to show up as my best self, set my intentions, say some prayers that they come through in very specific ways, and the information that comes through, that if you've never experienced a reading with a qualified evidential mediumship, depending on how the medium works, you might get their name. You may get, they may tell you that they had a mole on their left knee, or that they see that their child, that their son, was in an accident, but he just left with scratches, like, because I was there and I made sure he was going to be okay. That's evidential mediumship, when you get those very specific details. And so this is the Moonology deck, right? We've talked about that. They're saying to pick the card under the card I thought I was going to pick. So I will listen. And I'm glad I picked this one, because it says luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Well, we're going to have a new moon in Aries, which is an eclipse. So it's another fire sign. But luck is on your side. Yes. Very good. And last but not least, quick message from the angels, because then I've got to get ready, because in 40 minutes, we're doing a group prayer here on the channel at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And it's going to be transmission work. So the master teachers are going to guide us through this. They're going to raise our frequency, and we're going to send these high frequencies of compassion, love into the collective fields, into the earth, to try to reach the leaders of state so they can negotiate rather than promote a World War III agenda that's profitable but people suffer, or a pharmaceutical agenda where, again, it's profitable but people suffer. So people can raise in compassion. The heart is the largest electromagnetic generator in the body, and you can access that master frequency through gratitude, through compassion, and then you expand. So we're going to expand the field. We're going to do some amazing work. 1 o'clock today. On that note, let's pull an angel card. Well, thank you, beautiful guitar. Saying, they weren't bad. I like that we were in a house. I think. No, I liked it too. The only thing that a few people were uncomfortable, because people were bunking with people they didn't know, basically. And then those that didn't care to do that, were on an air mattress downstairs. I mean, for me, it's fine. I'm very bohemian. For Spirit Fest, I want to get an area where people can camp also. I mean, not in April. It could conceivably snow in early April here, but so that's why, I mean, in a way, I can't have as many people in the retreat, obviously, and I won't make as much money, if I offer private rooms. But at the same time, I want my guests to be comfortable. That's more important. Add value. That's why I'm successful. It's what am I doing here? For over an hour. I mean, other than AdSense, I'm not getting paid for this, right? But you're my family. I'm adding value, and because I'm adding value, some people might book a reading just because I'm adding value to your life right now. And that's the key. If you're in a business, that's the paradigm. That's the new paradigm. Add more value than you take. Treat your employees like gold. Conscious business practices, and your business is going to thrive. Well, that's the thing. If I'm sleeping with a snorer, I'm not going to sleep. Unless I'm the one that's snoring, then I wake myself up. So that goes through also. Anyway, that was kind of fun. I had to post that. So what are the angels saying to Doreen Virtues in her last life? Sorry, Mary. So Daniel, I am the angel of marriage, and I am assisting you right now. So, we've got a few little subplots going on with the main theme, and that subplot is love, romance, marriage. That'd be hoot if this was my message. But whatever the case, whoever this is for, or maybe I feel like it's a group message. Romanticize yourself. Be open to romance. Be open to love. If you have a partner, make sure you let them know that you love them, that you validate them, and all that good stuff, and everything, and be open to some new beginnings. And I feel like the angels are guiding us to happier relationship. Now, what just popped in, and I'll end after this, is that a lot of people, because you're awakening and you're changing, your vibration's changing, a lot of people have left old partners because they're not evolving. And if you're in an evolution, if you're in a spiritual awakening, you're heading towards an initiation, and you have to let go of those on the earth that are holding you back. Basically, sometimes that includes your husband or wife. So the idea is, now that you're aligned, a higher frequency, you put it out there to attract somebody that matches you in your energy, that's awakening on a similar trajectory that you are, and then you support each other and enhance each other's awakening, rather than one person kind of pulling the other back. So I think that's the message behind the card. In any event, so it's 1:20. I'll see you guys that want to do the transmission and the group prayer with us. We'll see you shortly at 1 Eastern time. Love you. And I'll post this at the end. Yeah, we have to help each other as a community. When I had my heart surgery in 2017, and I couldn't pay my employee. I couldn't pay my bills, so I did a GoFundMe. People were very generous with that. So yeah, we have to support each other, basically. And I'm sorry. I'll ask Chloe directly. I say, what is her GoFundMe? But I'll find that. Thank you so much, Pam. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for being here, and love and gratitude to you all. Thank you, Bohemian, for sticking it out. We're still at 78 on the chat. A lot of you. I don't know if Robert Long made it through. I don't know if he thought I was criticizing him. I hope not. I was just debating. But anyway, all right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Love you guys.